Out of the oppression of this city, this abstract civic space imposed upon the fields, destroying that tie with the nearest, which in nature rules. The more that Londoners are packed into a tiny space, the more repulsive and disgraceful becomes the brutal indifference with which they ignore their neighbours and selfishly concentrate upon their private affairs. But nowhere is this selfish egotism so blatantly evident as in the frantic bustle of the great city.
I find that when you're in downtown London, there is that sense of crowdedness, of it's almost a claustrophobic sense. But when you get out here and you're away from it for a bit, you can see the sky. You know, each building is sort of set in its own place and allows you to enjoy it in its own context.
I think the one thing that's quite interesting, if you stand up there, there's not quite enough green. Okay. So you've got, if you look over that way, you've got sort of down by Temple, you've got a green space, and you've got one or two on top of the buildings, but you probably need a little bit more to just break up the buildings.
Sir, if you wish to have a just notion of the magnitude of this city, you must not be satisfied by seeing its great streets and squares, but must survey the innumerable little lanes and courts. It is not in the showy evolution of buildings, but in the multiplicity of human habitations which are crowded together, that the wonderful immensity of London consists.
Well, we need to build more buildings anyway. It'd be nice if, they built more houses instead of just office buildings and stuff like that. But, it is what it is. And if anything, it's creating more opportunities and jobs for everyone in London.
History is it's an interesting term. History is something that you make, right? So it's a forever evolving idea. So one day this will become history. And I think that evolution through time is important. So I don't think it necessarily loses anything. I think it just adds to it.
There is no logic that can be superimposed on the city. People make it. It is to them, not buildings, that we must fit our plans.
I mean, it is what it is. The city's expanding and more people are moving here. So, we have to open our eyes to bigger and better things.
Cities can change too much, and there can be gentrification, and there can be real negative consequences of some of the development and some of the developers coming in and changing a city without maybe the people.
It would be nice if there wasn't quite as much. Sometimes it kind of invades space on the ground, that is. It would be nice to have a bit more greenery in some parts of London.
I feel like we might have a lot more green buildings when they incorporate the grass and everything on the roofs.
And have new ideas and new artists and new visions coming to a city and keeping it different and alive. So I think a mixture sometimes of both.
So I think there's probably enough. I don't think we necessarily need much more, and they're going to have to go outside, aren't they? There's no real place left, I wouldn't have thought, to build any more.
Space. Architects always talk about space, but creating a space is not automatically doing architecture. With the same space, you can make a masterpiece or cause a disaster.